We are on verse 12 of Kathoupanishad. Mine is Valli 5. Some of you it's chapter 2. I think it's Valli 2 verse 12. If whoever has a book, has everybody got it where we are? If not, then raise your hand and then we'll try to get. Okay, so I'm assuming everybody has it. So I'm going to start with the prayer. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Okay, so in verse 11, that's the right one, right? 12? Yeah, okay. Verse 11 was, just as the sun, the eye of the whole world, is not contaminated by the defects of the external eyes, so being the innermost essence in all being, Atma is not contaminated by external sorrows of the world. He's talking about the purity. Atma ko hamesha pure, untainted, unchanging, bataya gaya, right? Sanatan, eternal. Why? Because he's saying that no matter what happens in the Prakriti or us, it doesn't get affected. And it gave the example, a beautiful example of a sun, that sun illumines everything, but sun doesn't get affected by anything, whether it's good, bad, whatever is happening. So it was just telling about the purity. And in the coming verse that is talking about eternal happiness. Who gets the eternal happiness? That's what it's all about. So we'll see what it's saying. So verse 12. Eko vashi sarva bhutantaratma ekam rupam bahudaya karoti tam atmastham ye anupashyanti dhiraha tesham sukham shashvatam netaresham. Eka is one. He's talking about that Atma. One. Vashi is ruler, controller. In Hindi mein bolte hain vash mein karna. Sarva bhuta antaratma, the soul of all beings. Talking about it is within us, all of that. Ekam is one, single. Rupam, different forms. Bahuda, manifold. Yaha is who. Karoti, makes. Tama, him. Atmastham, as existing within their own self. हमारे में स्थित है वो. Ye is those. Anupashyanti, perceive. Dhiraha, wise men. This word has come many times. Wise men को धीरा बोला, जिसमें बहुत patience हो, and there are many other qualities of a dhiraha. Tesham is there. Sukham, happiness. Shashvatam, this is a very important word. We'll see why. Eternal. Eternal happiness, not some fleeting ones that they're talking about. No itresham, no one else. So बड़ा ठोक बजा के बोल दिया कि और किसको नहीं मिलेगा ये eternal, किसको मिलेगा वो बता रहे हैं. So what are they saying over here? So firstly, there is, eko. There is only one Atman, one without a second. That's how they say it. दूजा कोई नहीं. अगर हिंदी में उसको translate करेंगे. So, and he's saying that vashi bola word because there is this one factor, or that Atman or Paramatma, whatever you want to call it, God, Brahman, that's the one that controls this entire cosmos. Okay? So, and that's why that uske control mein hai ye sab kuch. That is one meaning. And the second part over here is saying the other flip side is sarva bhutanta antaratma. The दूसरा side, flip side है कि the same Atma is in your self also. Antaratma के रूप में तुम्हारे अंदर भी है. The same Atma that controls the whole cosmos. Because everything is exist and sustained in it only. Same like ocean. All the waves are sustained in the ocean. Wave don't have any existence without it. Same way. Okay. So we have seen this life that how that because of that Atma only, the consciousness is reflected and it presents itself as a life. When we say this person is alive, we saw that whole process in this Kathoupanishad, that how it happens. So कोई पूछेगा कि भाई ये आत्मा और करती क्या है, उसका एक और भी काम है. ये क्या काम है? It manifests, it is one, but manifests as many. That's the most important thing, that it happens. एक को अनेक बना देती है. वो भी एक आभास होता है अनेक का. That's what basically it's trying to say. How does it do it? So, Tejomayananji said, is inexplicable. Nobody can explain. Okay? Immeasurable power it has. उसकी कोई सीमा ही नहीं है. And I think there was one time lecture by क्या नाम है उनका वो स्थानेश्वर जी, और उन्होंने क्या पॉइंट लेके आए थे वो, it was so amazing. So he's saying there is this Atma and there is Prakriti, right? Prakriti is the power of Atma only, right? प्रकृति का क्या काम है? वो कोई डुप्लीकेट करती नहीं है. हाउ कैन दैट बी पॉसिबल? क्लोन्स भी होते हैं, ये भी होते हैं. वो क्लोन्स में भी कुछ डिफरेंस होता है, इट सीम्स. ओके, एंड देन वी नो दैट दे से कि एक अगर ट्री होता है, उसके पत्ते को देखो, हर एक पत्ता एक यूनिक ही होता है. दे आर नॉट आइडेंटिकल. ओके, देयर इज सम यूनिकनेस, जस्ट लाइक ह्यूमन बीइंग्स. राइट नाउ देयर आर 7 billion people. Each one is unique. We never think about it that way. Think about it. If there is one Manju, there's only one Manju in this entire world, or Meeraji, or anyone, How amazing. And even there's a saying in English, right? No two snowflakes are alike, because there is a uniqueness in each one. So that's what its power is. It can manifest like eternally keep changing, something to contemplate about. That's why he called it, Tejomayananji called it, inexplicable, immeasurable power. Our mind thinks finite things. The mind is itself finite, but he's talking about infinity here. So then he gave, worldly example. Okay, now I don't understand this. So he gave the worldly example that everybody can understand, saying there is one beam of light which is white, and you put it through a prism, it becomes 7 colors, right? In essence, it's only one light, and actually that white light is in all of them. You can say that if you want to look at it that way. So the same way you can look at it Paramatma also, that beam of light is something like Paramatma, that the एक ही है लेकिन अनेक बन गया है. Okay, so he's saying that शास्त्रों में ना उसको थोड़ा ड्रामेटाइज किया है. उसने कहा कि भगवान को लगा कि चलो मैं अकेला हूँ, this is just a kind of a children's story. I'm getting bored, I want some company. तो उसने अनेक बना दिए, to play with himself, just like that. जो पता दुनिया क्यों बनाई? That's the explanation he's giving, that's what he's doing. So if you think about it, no changes happened in the original. Even light का भी वैसा ही है, पर हमको वो 7 रंगों की दिखाई देती है. Okay? That's what is happening. So another very, very great example he gave is Tejomayananji gave, that suppose we stand in the room with hundreds of mirrors in it, and I stand in the middle, and now I'm looking, मुझे सब जगह मैं ही दिखाई दूंगी, ऊपर नीचे साइड में, and all that, because मैं हूँ तो एक ही, मगर मुझे दिखाई दे रहे हैं 1000 हर जगह. And I think that this new telescope which has gone up, they are saying that galaxy after galaxy after galaxy दिखाई दे रही है उनको. God knows how many billion lights away and all. Mind only goes crazy thinking about it, because एक से वो अनेक हो गया, but actually में एक ही है. And then he also said that another example, very good one, 2 or 3 examples he gave. Second example he gave was, we are all one person, right? And then, but we have so many different relationships. Like Sheila ji, okay? She has 3 sons, so she's a mother also. She's a wife also. And then, when she's cooking, she's a cook in the kitchen. And all that, we assume so many responsibility but we are only one person. Okay? So, same way, Bhagwan is one, but it has become many. And another very good example that everybody will understand he gave was actor. We have seen this example many times. There's one actor and he plays many roles. He just becomes different roles. It doesn't mean that in reality he has become, just appears as different. So same exact way that one but appears as many. And he's saying these kind of viveki people, this विरक्त wise people, जिसको धीरा बोला गया है, जो इस बात को समझते हैं, कि the same परमात्मा जो एक से अनेक हो जाता है, और जो मेरे हृदय में मेरी बुद्धि, जैसे the word have come in this our Upanishad, हृदय गुहा बुद्धि गुहा में, means cave of my heart, cave of my intelligence, he resides, and this is my own self. ऐसे लोग, and the other definition of dhira means, part of it is that the one who have the right thinking, who have dispassion, and who refrain from bad conduct, जिनका mind pure है, जिनका mind intellect, subtle intellect है, खाली दुनियादारी की बातें नहीं है उसमें, but it is subtle intellect, understand the higher consciousness and all that. All these qualities are there. That person, and the other word they have used, anupashyanti. तो ये अनु जो लगा है ना, पश्यंती means to see. अनु का थोड़ा deeper meaning है, means after he has learned this from his guru. Because what Tejomyananji was trying to say, the Atma Tattva is within us only. But we don't see it, we don't know it even. That's why that we need a guru who will tell us with the Shastra Praman and all that, through valid means of knowledge and all, we learn this, and then we will become dhira. उसके पहले हम लोग धीर word हमारे qualify नहीं कर सकता, because mind and intellect has many different things it knows, but this one apparently you will not know. So that's why you need Shastra and Guru and all to tell you this. Then you become the dhira. Because sometimes he was saying that we can buy books and read it, still we won't get it. So we need some kind of a teacher to bring this truth out. That's why we have, Chinmayananji, Tejomyananji, Nikhilananji. I bring all their things, because on my own I will not be able to explain anything. I need that help. And they got their help from their guru and their guru, like that. So this guru parampara is there, And the other meaning is of anu is continuously. That once you see it, that this knowledge doesn't go away. It will be there all the time. So then that dhira person is the one जिसका knowledge temporary नहीं है, shakeable grounds पे नहीं है जिसका, he's got firm understanding, So then the question comes, hey, okay, fine, all these dhira people are there, तो उसका result क्या होगा? So he's saying that these people are the one who will experience the eternal everlasting sukham. That is the most important thing of this particular verse, that everlasting happiness. Because like if you ask anybody, hey, why are you doing this or that, in the end pata chalega wo happiness ke liye kar raha hai. Then you ask him, hey, do you want happiness just sometimes? He said, no, I want to be happy all the time. So all of us crave for that, but milta kisko hai? Dheer person ko milta hai, who knows this firmly. So he's saying that and what is the opposite of dhira? The people, who are ignorant, they are indulgent, indolent, and who are like, don't believe or don't have the study of Upanishad, no guru, no nothing. That's the other category, And then he says Shankaracharya ji ne commentary diya, because Shankar Bhashya and all the Swamis and all they study and they bring it to us. So he's saying that if you don't get abide in this truth, फिर क्या होता है? You keep roaming in the wilderness of delusion, he calls it. उसको जंगल में खो गया जैसे कोई ना, जन्म मरण चालू रहता है. So he's bringing you the contrast, that एक तरफ ये धीर आदमी है, दूसरी तरफ ignorant. धीर आदमी को eternal happiness मिलता है, दूसरा वाला भटकता रहता है. So he's saying, and then तेजोमयानंद से किसी और जगह पे उन्होंने भाष्य में लिखा कि जो लोग इग्नोरेंट वगैरह होते हैं ना, उन लोगों को सुख तो मिलने तो दूर रहे, सुख की स्मेल भी नहीं मिलती. So I thought that was really funny how he presented it. So he's saying that some people will say the people who believe in sense pleasures, they're not going to like this at all. They will say that, they don't like such statements of Shankaracharya. They say, what are you talking about? I'm enjoying my life. I eat my laddu and I feel happy, or I watch this movie or whatever. I go on with this vacation. But then Tejomanaji reminded that they have used the word in this verse, Shashvatam. Shashvatam means eternal. So he's saying nobody is denying that if you indulge your senses, you will get some pleasure. He's saying, but the problem is it's temporary. So it's not Shashvatam. That's what they're talking about. Okay? And secondly, he said that, usually like the worldly things we say, I will be happy if I get this. ऐसे बोलते हैं ना हम लोग, अगर मुझे ये मिल जाए तो मैं बहुत खुश हो जाऊंगी. Can be anything. Can be my child needs to behave this way, or my whatever. It doesn't have to be a tangible object. It can be emotion also. I'll be happy if this happens. So he's saying that moment we say this, we are not happy in the present, because we have put a condition. I'll be happy when. So happiness पहले चली गई. See, we don't analyze all these things. कि हमने happiness को दूर ही भेज दिया. So he's saying that. और दूसरी बात होती है कि जो वर्ल्डली चीज़ों को हैप्पीनेस मिलने के लिए कितना स्ट्रगल करना पड़ता है. वी सॉ दिस पॉइंट इन अदर उसके लिए इतनी कोशिश करनी पड़ती है, फिर मिलेगा या नहीं मिलेगा, रोड ब्लॉक्स आते हैं, ये है वो है. बट दैट्स नॉट व्हाट द काइंड ऑफ सुख दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट, बिकॉज व्हाट दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट, आत्मा का सुख इज द नेचर ऑफ आत्मा इटसेल्फ इज सुखम. सो यू डोंट नीड टू रन एंड स्ट्रगल, एंड as soon as you merge with it, you become happiness yourself. So that's the point he brought it again. That was really good. And then he's saying that we already know that the shanikam. He's saying that the sukh that we get from the worldly things are temporary, and so you can get some pleasure, comfort, thrill, and all that, and we might think it is sukham. थोड़ा delusion हो जाएगा, because when we are feeling happy and all that, we might think, but no, because it's dependent on something, actually it is dukkham only. And that's exactly was a verse, I don't know whether we remember it or not, we did it in Bhagavad Gita, where it said that, this worldly sukh, actually, it's a womb of a dukh. Means, in the end, kitna bhi happy hoga, it's a womb, dukhi ho jayega. Because of this problem that it is, temporary. But Atma itself, no, that is infinite, that what he's talking about. So this is the whole verse, that what it's telling you. And this एक अनेक हो जाता है, और जो इस चीज को जानता है वही actually में सुखी हो सकता है. And Tejomenan ji was saying this almost like a Mahavakya, a very important statement. Okay? But the main thing is, he said, Etad Vetad. He said, in this verse is not given that, but whatever they're talking about, that's within you only. That one is your, this is that. That's what this whole thing is about. And the next verse is actually talking about Shanti. Because सुख के साथ हम लोग को शांति भी चाहिए. जैसे एक सुख मिल सकता है और किसी के पास शांति नहीं हो, again there is a problem. And this word sukh shanti, it's very interesting that हम लोग ने, मैंने ये इंडिया में नाम नहीं सुना था, सुख शांति किसी का नाम, शांति नाम सुना था, but that's it, that's about it. But there was one postdoc fellow came in my husband's lab from Thailand, and his name was Sukh Shanti. और उसने हम लोग को एक कुछ गणेश का पिक्चर भी दिया, उसमें भी उसने साइन अप किया सुख शांति का. I thought such a beautiful name, Sukh and Shanti, Sukh Shanti. So this is this verse. Any comment? Question? To add anything?
I would add this, this in the little thing that they said, just it's the third line. It says, to them belongs eternal happiness. They just say eternal happiness, but it's actually talking about internal.
No, eternal. Eternal means ever.
Eternal. Inner, eternal.
you can call it inner also, because happiness is always felt in the heart, in within us, right? Happiness is, because that's why they say that even if I eat a laddu or something, that sukh, that experience is within me. See that? So that is always internal, but they are talking about eternal means everlasting.
Everlasting.
Yeah.
So when they say eternal, it means it because it's in the heart.
No, they mean eternal means not temporary. That's what they mean.
Yeah.
So what you are saying is also true, that it's always within us. And why? And I don't know whether we discussed this, but the whole science of happiness, according to our Vedanta, is happiness is not in the objects. The reason we feel happy, because if I have a desire, my mind gets agitated. And when my desire is fulfilled, temporarily that agitation is gone. That's why I'm feeling happy. So happiness is coming from within me, which I don't realize. I think that some food is giving me happiness, some car. The objects do not have capacity to give you happiness. Because same object can give frustration and anger to somebody too.
Yeah.
So they are not capable. But this is something that happens from within. Yeah. So before we read, anybody has any?
I think I can clearly differentiate Sukh and Santi.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think those are the most important words we incorporate in our life as a human.
Mm-hmm.
Because all we do it here, we are at this junction of awareness, and you're still talking about all these Vedantas and stuff, and all those informations, which definitely lead to Sukh and Santi. I think the Sukh required some external happening to transpire into the Sukh, and the Santi is something does not need any external stimulus, and it's been self-created and self-observed and self-directed by our own mind.
Yeah, I mean the sukh, when we say sukh, so उसको actually word है ना, उसको थोड़ा divide कर दिया हम लोगों ने, उसको pleasure बोलते हैं, जो हम लोग को sense context से मिलता है ना, उसको pleasure बोलते हैं. और जब सुख बोला तो वो bliss, it is a little higher thing, and you could be having a discomfort in your body and उसका pain हो सकता है, वैसा वाला दुख, right? But जो वो eternal एक stable शांति और सुख है ना, उसकी बात करते हैं लोग. So that's, if you have that, then you can handle the other stuff better too.
Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, do you see that somebody, something bad happens and they get so, depressed and upset and they just can't get out of it. But if you have a little bit stability internally, you will bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
So they are telling you to develop that internal stability of Sukh.
Yeah, so they're talking about the internal incidences or internal creation of Sukh rather than dependent on the external service.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So if somebody has an internal Sukh and Shanti, वो actually ज़्यादा enjoy करेगा दुनिया को. Think about it. Because you have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
True. So he will be more relaxed to enjoy it. So he will look at it as a sport.
Yes.
Right? Otherwise, दूसरा कोई होएगा तो oh my God, ये हो गया, वो हो गया. They will be just, but...
And his aura would be different. So,
yes.
So anybody around him also would be able to get benefit out of it. Right?
Yeah, like all the saints and sages, that they just sit there. Sometime, somebody like Ramana Maharaj, he doesn't even speak, I heard. He never spoke hardly. But people got so much Sukh and Shanti in his thing, because you just like saying minds are connected. Mm-hmm. So his Sukh and Shanti...
Same example with Sahaj Marg meditation, if you have heard of it.
Yes, of course. All of them have the same goal.
So in that sense also, like Taji has reached to a certain level of bliss where whenever he communicates through meditation or he provides meditative classes, the pranahuti is happening,
Yes.
And whenever there is a pranahuti is happening, the opposite party is getting quite a bit of benefit depends on the receptivity of the
Receptivity. You said it, because koi bolega ki, oh, if he has the power to give, then why everybody is not feeling it? Hey, if you have not even opened your curtain and you're saying the sun is not there, sun is there for everybody, but I keep my curtain closed, I'm not going to get benefit of the sun. So receptivity is equally important.
Absolutely. Even we're talking today or every Wednesday, all this thing is only possible that I'm open, I'm receptive. If I'm not receptive and every time I'm resentment, thoughts are coming in while you or somebody is reading the literature, it's not going to make any sense, right?
Yeah, true, absolutely. All those points are very, very valid. Who would like to read?
Me?
Okay, Shireen.
Okay. That one supreme ruler, the soul of all beings, who makes his one form manifold, those wise men who perceive him as existing in their own self, to them belongs eternal happiness and to none else. The self-arrogating ego-centers, viewing out of themselves through the shattering instruments of their mind and intellect, observe everywhere nothing more sacred than an eternal variety of endless plurality. Consequently, they suffer all the pains of life, their own self-created problems of life. The mind and intellect equipment has a prism effect when the undivided beam of the self's light passes through it. The intelligence seemingly encased within the body can reach the outer world of sense objects and cognize them only through the coordinating agent, the mind. But the wise, transcending the limitations of both their mind and intellect, learn to look out through their faculty called intuition. Intuitively viewed, truth alone is the experience available at all places and at all times.
So this is a little bit complicated paragraph because he has long sentences. But basically what he's trying to say, and like one time I had asked some question to someone when I was learning this. Hey, what is the role of the mind? What is mind? Intellect, actually. So this there was a lady sadhu, and she said, intellect just is like a knife, it cuts everything. Why she said that? Because intellect is the one which sees the difference in everything. It's a important tool for the worldly things to do, to analyze, to do this. But in the spiritual world, it becomes an obstacle. Because you are trying to go towards oneness and it's constantly showing you the difference. It's pulling you. It's like taking a knife and cutting a vegetable into 100 pieces, and I'm trying to make it a whole. So that's what it is talking about, that through the prism of the mind, variety and differences and all that, deludes us completely, So this person is going the opposite direction, transcending the limitations of this mind and intellect. And those people, I think Joe is not there. Joe talks a lot about that intuition. Or intuition is almost like the cosmic intelligence, coming through. So for the worldly things, mind and intellect is great. But for the spiritual thing, we have to develop intuition. Because through intuition, we grasp this truth. That's what he's telling.
The self is the source of the light, which at the intersection of the mental prism seemingly disperses itself into the variegated band of innumerable names and forms which constitute the Jagat. The yogi, in his discriminating wisdom, successfully withdraws his mind's delusory hobnobbing with his own ignorance, created plurality, and in the moments of his deep meditations, his awareness comes to be aware of self as the self.
So there are so many, my God, this hobnobbing. What it is, I had to look up the dictionary. Friendly chat. मैंने बोला ना that mad guy who supposedly walk on the street and he's talking to himself and बड़बड़ा रहा है वगैरह, पर हमारा mind भी वैसे ही बड़बड़ा रहता है because we see so many varieties, so many things. And it's Krishna Bhagwan is also saying in Bhagavad Gita, hey, gather all that and bring it to the self and become quiet. So that's exactly what they are talking about, that this person, discriminating wisdom, dhira, is withdrawing his mind from this delusionary hobnobbings, unnecessary chatting, and then it's in the deep meditation become aware of that higher self. Yeah. See how it is matching the Bhagavad Gita in here again.
Our consciousness becoming conscious of itself, the pure consciousness as the self, is moment of self-realization of Ishvara darshan. In order to enjoy this moment of supreme bliss and wisdom, the individual must necessarily be a highly evolved soul. Dhira?
Dhira, yeah, the word dhir, remember? This is the word we are discussing, yeah.
Such ones alone can come to enjoy eternal bliss. That theirs is the experience of continued, unbroken, and infinite joy is indicated here by the Shruti. She says that only such wise men who have come to realize their self are the real men of bliss and not others. The worldly men who are engrossed in external objects and who are not endowed with indiscrimination are debarred by the statement to have ever a chance of enjoying infinite bliss through sense objects.
So he's saying that उसने एकदम clearly बोल दिया कि the people who are just looking for happiness in the external objects and they don't have any discrimination power and all, उनको नहीं मिलने वाला है सुख शांति, like that. Only those people, the other people, who are like rooted in this wisdom that they're talking about, who have experienced or done the Ishvara darshan, that's what he mentions, that the self-realization, moment of self-realization, you get established in that. We have heard it, but this is just repeating the whole thing. And I was thinking about the Bhagavad Gita also, because Arjuna's problem was that he was had gotten very dejected, depressed, and they call it grief se bhar gaya tha wo, right? So Krishna Bhagwan ne usko, how to get him out of the grief, he told him the self-knowledge. शायद उसको पूरा समझ में नहीं आया chapter 2 में, but that's the first thing he told him, that you are not what you think you are. So why are you grieving? Because that is the real, Hindi में बोलते हैं ना राम बाण, to take away all your sorrows. That's the only thing. Rest is there is fleeting happiness, and all that. And I was thinking about, there's one analogy, one drishtant somebody had given. It was a beautiful drishtant. He's saying, suppose किसी को ना जेल में बंद है कोई, उसने क्राइम किया नहीं किया, दैट्स अ डिफरेंट स्टोरी. समझो नहीं किया है, उसको गलती से बंद कर दिया, या किया भी होगा. Somebody comes and gives him a little blanket, hey, you ठंड लगती है वहाँ पे, he'll be a little happy. किसी ने उसको खाना दे दिया. When he will be the most happy? किसी ने उसको चाबी दे दी कि वे इसको खोल के बाहर निकल जाते हो. So that is the ultimate, right? That's what he's talking about, that this, if somebody gets established in this knowledge, is the ultimate. Rest, everything is just like, band-aid kind of thing. You're not going to the root of it. So, anyway, this is it. Any question, comment? Anybody wants to add anything? Sheila ji, yeah.
Yeah, can you explain a little bit more about the self?
So when you say, do you want to know what is self?
Just explain whatever's.
So when we say self, this word is, जो हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना हम आत्मा, उसका इंग्लिश ट्रांसलेशन किया है उन्होंने. Because आत्मा word कहाँ से आया? आत्मा means मैं, right? But they're not talking about मैं, the body. They're talking about that core of our self. तो उसको they didn't know how to translate, maybe because English is a limited language. So when they say self means it is they're talking about आत्मा, तो आप समझ गए ना इसको. हाँ, तो ये self आत्मा को इंग्लिश में self बोलते, I mean sorry, self बोलते हैं.
Make it clear,
yeah. तो इसलिए बोलते हैं, जैसे बोलते हैं ना सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन, तो उसका संस्कृत होता है आत्म साक्षात्कार. हाँ, तो साक्षात्कार इज इवन अ बेटर वर्ड देन रियलाइजेशन, बिकॉज जैसे मैंने वो एक्चुअली में देख लिया, मतलब नॉट लाइक अ फिजिकल सीइंग, बट रियलाइज, मेरे को समझ में आ गया, यू नो. सो संस्कृत के वर्ड्स बड़े इंटरेस्टिंग होते हैं. जैसे वन ऑफ द स्वामी वाज एक्सप्लेनिंग कि हम लोग इंग्लिश में वर्ड है फिलॉसफी, हाँ, तो उसका एक्चुअल वर्ड है दर्शन, बोलते हैं दर्शन शास्त्र. दर्शन मीन्स व्हाट, मैंने देख लिया, समझ लिया इतना अच्छे से कि मेरे को कोई और की प्रूफ की जरूरत नहीं है, दर्शन कर लिया मैंने, मैं समझ गई पूरी अच्छी तरह से. या
That's good. Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else has anything? Manju? And Manju, you have to unmute. You have to. Now you're getting it. Yes. बोलो.
Like जैसे किताबों में पढ़ते हैं ना, तो it I mean sounds such a mumble jumble. पर जब कोई God realized person, जैसे अभी सदगुरु हैं, उनके सामने आप जब उनके दर्शन करो, जब जाओ, तो you know the vibration is so strong that so many things just, you know, it's like the curtain is just open. You know, it's so beautiful, that feeling that you know, जो हम लोग बोलते हैं ना self, तो वो जैसे कि वो विराट स्वरूप का एकदम जैसे दर्शन दिखा देते हैं कि विराट स्वरूप, that divinity you begin to sort of feel in all, you know. And I mean it's very difficult. कोई भी जो बहुत this thing that I got a chance to meet so many of them, like Sat Sai Baba, so many भगवान, so many of them. तो उनका वाइब्रेशन इतना स्ट्रांग होता है ना कि कितनी चीजें ऐसी अपने आप छिन्न हो जाती हैं. ये
ट्रू. तो ऐसे इसीलिए बोलते हैं ना कि एक जला हुआ दिया दूसरे को जला सकता है, इसीलिए. So it's a great privilege to kind of come in contact with such souls. Definitely, there's no doubt about it. Yeah. That's why.
Have you met Manjuji Sadhguru?
Yeah, I met him. I've spoken to him. I got a picture taken with him. And then, you know, he said 2-3 words to me. Then I said, "Arey." Then I thought कि कबीर को जब उसके गुरु ने कुछ बोला तो उसको पूरी बात समझ में आ गई. तो जो हमको सदगुरु ने बोला होगा तो उसमें भी बहुत रहस्य होगा. तो आई वुड थिंक, यू नो, कि क्या रहस्य है, तो हम वो रहस्य लेके अपना लेसन ले लें. क्योंकि रोज मिलने की जरूरत नहीं होती है. कि
रोज मिलने,
है ना, रोज मिलके क्या करोगे? You have to do your homework.
True.
You have to do your homework. I agree with you.
Yeah, you have to experience it for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it has to become yours. Yeah.
Yep.
What the Guru is trying to tell you, it has to be yours.
Definitely.
What did he say to you? What did he say to you?
Like, you know, when I wanted to get the photograph taken, जब हमने उनको देखा ना, तो हमने, I mean, when I did pranam to him, तो you know, I looked up at his face, but I didn't see the eyes. Eyeballs मेरे को नहीं दिख रही थी. तो उनको ऐसे देख रहे थे, तो मेरे को खाली 2 dark hollow दिख रहे थे. So then, you know, I thought maybe in my excitement, and I was so excited because, you know, to get a chance like this, to be so close to him. So then I thought, you know, because I'm so excited, I have not seen the eyeballs. 2-3 दिन बाद then I went little further on, तो मेरे को चांस मिला, वो गाड़ी थोड़ा 2 मिनट लेट हो गई थी, तो we were voluntary workers, so we were standing there, so then I got a chance to get a picture taken. So when I was getting the picture तो हम सोच रहे थे कि कि सब हमको गीता का सब याद आ रहा था, कैसे जो सिर्फ पुरुष होता कैसे चलता है, कैसे बोलता है, तो हम देखते जा रहे थे. I couldn't get my eyes off. And then I wanted my picture to be taken by Sadhguru, so I got the picture taken also. So when I was still looking at him, so he said, when you want your picture to be taken, you look into the camera. Right. So I was so happy, that he spoke to me also. And then later on, I was thinking, he was, then afterwards, that black eyes, then in the YouTube, there was a thing about, the dark holes, शून्य, जैसे सब चीज शून्य में चली जाती है. Then I read a book where it said that Sadhguru is not in body anymore. उनका टाइम खत्म हो गया है. जब उन्होंने ध्यान लिंगम बना लिया तो उनका टाइम खत्म हो गया है. He is existing only to do a certain more work. जैसे अब वो save soil कर रहे हैं और कितने काम कर रहे हैं ना.
Correct, yeah.
So his time is actually finished. It's very interesting to know all these things. His time is finished and he's actually not in body. If you read some of his things, they mention in several places, devotees mention that actually his thing is not in, he is not in body. That's why he can do all these things. At the age of this thing, to go on the motorcycle all around, for so many 100 days he's been on the motorcycle. It's not for everybody to do all that. The younger devotees, he is almost 70, and his devotees who are doing all this with him, even if they are, they are about 30 and all, they said we cannot keep up with his pace.
Mm-hmm.
The way he travels, the way that energy level, you just can't keep pace with it.
Yeah, they are on a different level.
He's 25-year-old. In one of his videos, he said he's like 25-year-old, right?
Yeah, but he's not actually in body. He's actually not in body. They understand that he's not actually in body.
See, because from the consciousness perspective, they say, no, you merge, right? That whatever Krishna Bhagavan is saying, yeah. Mm-hmm.
He has actually, and then I thought that those words meant for me was that, तुम जो भी काम कर रहे हो, तुम योग में करो. Like when you get your picture taken, then you look into the camera because you're getting a picture taken. You be one with that. Why are you looking at me? So now when I'm doing anything, I try over and over. It's not that 100% you can do it, but you have to keep on trying. धीरे करके किसी time हो जाएगा.
No, of course you got inspired. Yeah, you got and that's the most.
I really try, and I do feel like going. I feel once a year तो जाके दर्शन जरूर करना है.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Oh, your voice is getting cut off.
Once a year.
I have not done something great, Like I have done very basic. But other people who have done far more advanced courses, like
We cannot hear her, right?
I can hear.
No, तुम्हारा internet थोड़ा cut.
Most of them
We can't hear you, Manju. Yeah, Manju, we cannot hear you.
Oh,
Yeah, she's frozen. Yeah.
Oh, acha, can you hear now?
Yeah, now we can.
So it's really, and his books and all are very interesting if you read the books, the internet, so many things. And then, if you have one thought, you can experience that thought in Sadhguru immediately, as if he's just read your mind. Once I wanted to I was getting a book signed, so I was short, and other people are much taller than me. So, मेरी किताब नीचे थी और सबकी किताब ऊपर थी, तो वो साइन होती जा रहे थे, and I was standing there underneath. So I was thinking there is a good
फिर
which
कट गया,
made
sorry.
for me to stand close to him. But even there, the minute I thought that, he put his hand and then he took my book and signed it. And gave it.
Very good.
You know? So like things like this, you feel that too. Look at the connection, and I mean, there's so much divinity all around. Where is there time to think of anything, to destroy anything or be destructive and all? You think that same energy can be put into such constructive and useful way to see all the beauty around you.
Oh, very, very
So
nice. Yeah,
I
no.
feel, like बोलते हैं कि गुरु की महिमा वेद ना जाने. ये हम लोग को भगवान बोलते थे. गुरु की महिमा वेद ना जाने. So that's why ये इंडिया में इतना ये है, मतलब कि हम लोग we pray because the guru finds you. You can't find the guru. How do you find the guru? The guru finds you. So we just pray for the. But this whole subject is very beautiful. I think it's the best thing one can do in your life is to read the Geeta, to read all the Shastra. More than that, I mean, when you read that, then after that you feel, I just want to be a simple devotee. I don't want to be anything.
True. Yeah. No, great. That was very nice. You shared that. Inspired everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Manju.
So, shall we close Bhagavad Gita here? Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah Hari Om. ठीक है, so what we'll close today. Manju already discussed a lot of good things, and we will meet next week on Wednesday.
Kumaji, how are you doing? I just want to.
Oh, I'm doing